Yeah, I can hear you fine.
Okay. It is 7:01. This is the meeting of the Conservation Commission on September 22nd, 2002. We have a quorum with people in the room and on the call. And we have Susan and myself, Carl. On the Zoom call, we have Damon and Tim. We also have Roger Werner, Zoom, and also in person,
Bob Sweet.
Bob Sweet. Okay. We have a few minutes before we get to see what hearings. We're just discussing that there is a new hire for a Conservation Commission clerk. We will be reaching out to her, finding out when she will be in Mendon for on-site training. And Damon and or will be working with her. We have a number of bills to deal with, and there's a large pile of paperwork on the conservation desk. And any other things to talk about the new hire?
I just think everything's going to, hopefully everything goes smooth. I will reach out to Bill McHenry when we find out when she's going to be available to see if, if he's willing to, spend some, small amount of time and just go over some clerical things that might help her move along quickly, in the beginning stages. That's about it. Question, different. I'm going to switch gears for a second. Have you said Bob Sweet's in the room?
Yep.
Bob, any digging been going on that driveway since we talked last?
No, the only thing I'm doing is putting silk fence in, and I know that Bill did some digging near that drainage ditch that's there.
Can you identify what property you're talking about?
Oh, I'm sorry.
58 Oak Street.
Yes.
Who's Bill?
So yeah, so there hasn't been an excavator that's dug in the ground at all on that property.
No, the only thing that's been going on is tree cutting. And there's a wood chipper there now to chip up the brush.
Yeah.
So the trees are mostly down. As soon as I get all the silk fence in, then I want to reach out to you guys, have you look at everything, make sure that things okay, and then, if all goes well, I can start yanking all the stumps up, getting the place all cleaned up.
Okay, sounds good. I just I had got a call from the neighbor. I couldn't really make heads or tails about it, but
Get $1,000 David.
yeah, I know, but I just have to follow up. So
Yep.
I'm just making sure that there hasn't been an excavator digging out there within 100 feet of the wetlands or anywhere near there, anywhere at all till the silt fence is inspected.
Yep, okay.
That's all.
The neighbor had a call in today. And after he finished the siltation barriers and fences in, he'll contact us. We'll go in then, and only after then we'll.
Oh, it's time.
Yep. And put up the sign.
I did. By the way, here's a question for everybody in this board. If I put a no trespassing sign up and my neighbor decides he wants to go wander through my property, is that a problem?
Follow me.
It depends on the legal definition of trespassing. It applies how you posted the law.
Private property, no trespassing.
Well, and the legal definition of trespassing, whether his activity is prohibited or not under state and local ordinances, as usual, I'll tell you, go consult with a lawyer. Peter can't sign that.
That's right.
The last signature.
Oh, because of the blueberries?
Yeah, the last signature will have to be Tim, and so I will. Tim, you've got to come down here and sign this in the mailbox. sometime, as soon as possible.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Hi, Tim. Hi, Damon.
Hi, guys.
How
Hey,
you doing?
listen, Tim, let me know when you sign it and I can get it delivered to where it's supposed to be, or let them know to come to the town clerk and get it. Or Kyle or somebody, just so, we don't have a missing paperwork again.
Yes.
Okay, no problem. I'll
All
have
right.
to do it on, I'll have to do it on Monday because, they're closed tomorrow.
So you have a key?
No.
Okay.
All right, so switching gears over to, 3537 Hastings Street. Tim will be getting a signature on the, ORAD Monday, and then Damon or I will see about getting it to John Nenard. The other thing that we've heard from John is that there is a DEP. He's going to be asking for a public hearing for the next step. I forget which one it is because it's in,
Notice of intent.
notice of intent,
Notice of intent.
and he will have Goddard Engineering submit the certified
Oh, yeah.
letters and things.
Yeah.
Is there a boilerplate letter that they send out and the legal notice that goes in the newspaper or does Goddard already have that?
Sure God it already has.
Okay.
Yeah,
No, but on that, because we used to be responsible for the advertising. About 5 years ago, we put it on the applicant. Well, that's fine, but in my opinion, the applicant has to come to us
Yeah,
and have us say when the hearing is, what time, 7:15. So to have us send out a notice saying, check with the Concom
Yes,
doesn't
I
work.
will check with John and see when he'd like to have the public, and we will get it scheduled into that appropriate week's meeting.
Well, if once he submits the notice of intent, it's up to us to schedule the hearing at whether it's
Right, well,
on his
we
convenience.
have 21 days.
Otherwise, yeah, otherwise we know what happens.
Right. So,
What happened last time?
which leads us to what Peter and I touched on coming into the building. Is, taking the term, but I guess Peter.
Clerk, but we're gonna be talking about that later on in the agenda.
Well, we talked about the clerk before you got here, so what's your input on the clerk?
Damon and I were sent an email this afternoon at 2:00 from the human resource person, asking us to say what would be the good first day for this clerk to start. She is anxious, but that we need to, I guess, help train her or need to find Bill. I don't know. She's looking for us.
Well, I think what we gotta do is tell her that, one of the basics of when she gets mail and she receives a, notice of that you have a certain amount of days to respond. So,
Yeah, well, hopefully she's coming knowledgeable about the law, but I don't know. We're gonna find out, right? But specifically, we need to tell the HR, when is this person's first day of work? And I guess she wants it sooner than later. Is it Monday, Tuesday, and follow up? Is either Damon or me, or was there somebody from the board who would be available for her first day to welcome her and not just kind of throw her on her?
Damon, what's your availability next week? You block out 4 hours.
I mean, the email that was sent to all of us was, and I replied back saying, with my phone number, let me know when you want to meet at the town hall and we'll, go over everything, and I'm going to try to work with getting Bill McHenry to come on board, and maybe, I don't even know if he will, but I'm going to ask him to maybe if he could spend an hour or two or whatever and just kind of go over a few things to make her transition to, to make it her life easier, starting out here, be That's all. I mean, I don't think it's my responsibility to tell her when she can start or when she can't start. I don't think it's any of ours. I mean, we just as soon as possible, and we'll go from there.
Let me put it this way. The goal is that on her first day, you're available at least
Yeah.
4 hours for training. Are you able to do that any of the days next week? And then I would
Yes,
propose.
I told him, I left her my phone number and I said, get a hold of me and I'll meet her at the town hall whatever day is available.
Let's back up a little bit, okay? What is the
Meeting? Yes.
sorry. Thank you. What is the deal? What did they offer? What are her hours?
She's got 10 hours, just like the other guy, but she doesn't live around here, so I think what they're gonna try to do, I mean, I texted Kim, she didn't get back to me, but I think what they're gonna try to do is have her work, like a 10-hour day, 1 day a week, spend the whole day here, and like, if it's a day that there's a meeting, work 8 hours and then 2 hours for a meeting or whatever it takes. And, do all that as far as I know. Like I said, I don't know that it's my call. I could be gone at the next selectmen's meeting, Mike. So I don't know. I'm just doing the best I can.
Oh, I appreciate that. I'm not advising anybody here, especially the board. It's just that, in my opinion, 10 hours, that particular setup doesn't work for us.
You're saying it's inefficient.
Yeah,
Too much,
inefficient.
too big a block, yeah. I would say better 2 5-hour or 4 hours. She could do some work at home maybe, or I don't know what policy is, but yeah, 10 hours.
Well, I mean, working at home does not, in Beverly, doesn't, I don't think is a good thing for the residents of Mendon. I mean, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Somebody should be here to answer the phone, if somebody comes in and asks for something or whatever, that there's somebody in the office, whether it's 1 day, 2 day, I don't know. I mean, I don't, that really, as long as we have somebody that can do the paperwork, in my eyes, is do the paperwork, make sure everything gets done, and take the minutes and do the stuff, and be at the meetings. Right? I think that's the biggest thing.
Yeah, 100%, but if she works 10 hours in 1 day, so let's say
It's gotta be a
the scenario, she's hired, she worked today. Whatever decision we make tonight, she doesn't do anything after on till next week. That's the work. And again, I'm not trying to criticize us, you, or anybody else, is that those kind of hours don't work in any clerical.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I know. I guess, like you said, if something needs to be filled out and done and taken care of, Monday, maybe spend a couple hours at home getting stuff emailed out to whoever needs to. I guess I don't know. I guess we need to talk to somebody that's in somebody in the town hall that's in charge of dictating these people's.
I will speak with her and with, if she be in, so I check with him if that's the case. It does make sense that she works 8 hours on a day. We have a conservation commission Thursday. It sounds like we would want the person working 2 hours from home, perhaps, the Friday after our meetings. And then we will talk about the meetings when we don't have a week. We do not want to work a single day. We're working multiple days a week, and we will figure out a balance between her commuting and her working in the office and whether she's able to make a presence. So I will take that as an action item. We'll get back, hopefully with the clerk in the room at the next meeting and discuss that further.
I'll give it a try. How we can do that? Unfortunately, we don't make the decisions.
Not on hire. All right, it is 7:16, which means it is time for open hearings. The first one is about for 5 Morrison Drive. Do we have someone in the room or on the Zoom call who will be speaking about 5 Morrison Drive?
I haven't seen any emails if there was any continuation, so glad they didn't show up at the last meeting either.
That's the three warehouse buildings with.
Yeah, Sugaroo.
Oh, she sent out an email asking for. today's agenda.
It is, but if they're not here, they get continued until the next time.
All right.
So, again, here's a perfect example. If the secretary or our clerk is gonna notify that applicant that there's a continuation, how does that happen if she's not working and if she put it 10 hours in and she got no more hours left? And I'm not,
It would be a delay of 1 week, which is too much. And I
Right,
think
that's what
our
I'm saying, I will work on how we structure those 10 hours around our regularly scheduled meetings and what happens the weeks between our meetings, so that we don't lose time like that.
so, okay, so now until we get that squared away, who's gonna contact this particular applicant, let them know that because they didn't show up, we continue. That's the number? Who-
It's on the NOI paperwork, which is uploaded, sure. So
Okay,
I can send them an email if you want.
all right, so we are volunteering Susan for that. I'll entertain a motion to continue this.
I'll move to continue this hearing until our next meeting at 7:15.
I'll second that.
This is notice of intent for DEP file 218-0820 for 5 Morrison Drive, filed by Subaru Associates representing MPG Capital. All right. Are there other continuations or other people who wish to discuss things that need to be discussed during the public hearing section of the meeting? Roger Warner, you're on the Zoom call. Are you here about something specific?
Yeah, we're on Lovell Ave.
Yeah, we're trying to get an update on Millville Street. What's happening with that? We've
It
been,
was on the agenda and then it got bumped. We're just wondering why.
Me too.
They were supposed to do testing and get back to us. We've heard nothing.
the soil testing.
Maybe we can get an email out to Goddard, asking
So
what the
you've heard
status
nothing
is.
from them at all?
What's that?
I did have a conversation with Ernie Horn yesterday about another situation, and he did mention to me that the testing was completed on the material there, and it came back clean. I think Goddard has the reports, and they're going to be forwarding them to the board.
Okay, 'cause we haven't heard anything.
Neither have we.
Yeah, I think they would just complete. They just received them. I think it may have been yesterday because I had a conversation with him. Again, it was about a different project, but he mentioned to me that they did receive the reports and they're going to be forwarding them to the conservation board.
Okay, and they were supposed to submit a plan? Do we have a timeline?
Yes, but the date, we went back and forth on the date, and I think it was a little more time we gave them. I have to look at the minutes, but it was like into October, I think, or it was like,
I don't think it was
That's
that
correct, 'cause
long.
I think they just got Goddard on board, and he was going to come up with a. I think Goddard said he was going to come up with a schedule at the last meeting. So maybe they're going to send them in with the reports for the material and with the schedule.
Because we really want to get it back in your agenda.
Yes. Okay, so, here's some.
Morrison Drive. Well, location. Sorry,
Okay,
guys.
these are the guys from Morrison Drive.
well, we'll have to reopen it. I think we'll make a motion to.
They were next door, they were, yeah, we were next door.
I was just curious what the procedure was.
Yeah, that's fine.
As long as nobody was here and left.
Yeah.
Okay,
Confusion going on. Nice stuff.
yes.
It's a nice.
Okay.
So I guess we'll follow up with Goddard for that email. Thank you.
Well, all right, 7:22.
Thank you.
The public hearing, notice for 5 Morrison Drive, DEP file 218-0820, filed by Subaru Associates representing MPG Capital. Would you please introduce yourself?
I'm Peter Genta, representing the owner of the project.
William Hollow, one of the investors and doing the construction, the consultation as well.
Okay, you have a presentation for us?
Which brought these, we were.
Was there a letter that was submitted by our engineer for you guys? Do you have any handouts that were dropped off?
I did not check the mailbox.
I got everything out of the mailbox, and this is what we had. We didn't have a large packet from the engineer.
Okay, this is a large packet.
Yeah.
We had a couple copies.
Just in case.
And also, was there a letter from the town engineer?
I only checked the mailbox. I didn't go into our office to see if they put something on the desk and because that building was closed.
Okay.
So there may be things over there that we haven't.
Was it emailed or was it mailed?
It was dropped off in person.
Then it would probably be in the desk that I did not
If
check.
it was dropped off at the town hall, it should have been at the town clerk, or in the mailbox.
Oh, yeah, Ellen's on
I think
vacation.
that there were.
The town clerk's on vacation, I believe.
Yes, I think she is.
So that's adding to the confusion.
I think there were 3 items. We were going
Septic.
Septic system
The slope out back.
and
The,
rim elevation on the street to tie into the elevations of the site.
Yeah, the notice is associated parking area, stormwater management, and subsurface sewage disposal.
Right, but we had the hearing, and then we had, those 3 were the unresolved issues, kind of, questions.
Yeah, and the septic system
so the
was.
septic system's been designed and submitted.
So it hasn't been approved yet by the Board of Health.
I thought there was a letter that was dropped off that it was.
That's my understanding as well, that the health department had approved the septic system and design. And the consultant, he reviewed everything, he had no issues with that as well.
Our town engineer, the reviewing engineer.
Yes, the consultant proposed. He did have a comment on slopes to the rear of the site, that he wanted to see some type of stabilization plan or that be addressed. And he was talking about using a large rock on the surface. We also have a cup system that we wanted to utilize.
What system?
It's like a geoweb surface. It's a technical, they do the design, the company that produces the material, they do the design based upon, we have to get the calculations done by.
First of all, what's the slope, or what did it end up being?
It's
about
a
3 to
1.5.
1.5 to 1. Okay, and this is allow vegetation growing?
It allows, it's high density polyethylene, and it's hexagons shaped, about 8 inch thick that you fill with loam and.
You can get them in different dimensions.
And what,
Mix.
itself or something?
Yeah, something that maintains itself.
Would we want to see that in the?
Design details.
It is in here.
Okay,
It does
so
state as well,
what's that?
design mixing. He has a trap rock, but we
We're
don't,
going to take a look.
yeah.
Well, I mean, they're making a presentation,
Yeah.
let's present it. What's it doing? Either that or I'm gonna charge a consultation.
All right, another one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, Mike, help me. If that's 1 to 1, right?
Yeah, so for every.
1.5 is like that? Or is it like that?
It's more shallow.
Like more shallow?
Not quite a 45 degree.
It's a 30 degree.
A 1-to-1 is 45 degrees slope.
Yeah.
So 1.5.
So you think it's a 30 degree?
About,
A 45 would be a 1 to 1.
right, it's a little shallower than a 45.
Yeah.
40, that's 37 or 35.
Which is like,
That's.
yeah. So it is. You wouldn't want to be at the top, what's the top elevation?
Yeah, what's the height of the bank?
6 feet.
6 feet?
Yes.
vertical drop, so
Yeah.
a 9-foot bank maybe.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I wouldn't want to be up from the top and trip and you'll.
And roll
gain
down.
some- Yeah, you'll gain some
Well-
speed.
You wouldn't want to mow.
Not like coming down a 50-foot slope.
I'd rather go down that rubberized steel grid than rip-rap slope, but.
Well, that grid that they're talking about, that will work, it's gonna be staked in.
Yeah, it's dead on the top, it's tendons that hold it
Actually,
in place.
actually have details.
Yeah, you should have all the details
Yeah.
included.
This is
So the way we're gonna do the project, that piece is sort of the third phase.
Uh-huh.
So the question is, can we get a conditional okay with, as long as we get the plans submitted and reviewed before we start the phase 3 work?
There are two
In the back of
pages,
the project?
2 pages involved in this. So, this is the stabilization details.
Looks like steep slope there.
So I close all this way. So this involves 2 sheets. This is down here.
Oh,
But he had to put riprap. It's a larger slope, 10 to 12.
Yeah.
On that slope, we thought, as an alternate to that, or equal, cup system with a planting with a wild well. On that slope,
right, so that wouldn't be cut, so
right?
that's gonna go wild. You'd never be able to cut it, and cut it by hand with a sickle.
So what are you calling, slope tape? What is slope tape? Stabilize all slopes steeper than 2 to 1 with quote unquote, sounds like it's a patented.
Yeah, it might be the name of the material.
Yeah, but you call them.
No, I don't-
I don't.
Brand name?
I don't.
Renee rip-rap?
I have the material specifications.
It's referred to by the,
Great.
Army Corps of Engineers as a, geogrid
Yes.
system.
Right.
It looks like, so the riprap to fill the slope tape, so, so they have the same grid, but you're proposing to fill it. with loam and seed.
Seed as opposed to
And they
just
wanted to be
gravel
filled
and rock.
with rock.
Yeah.
It's
It's just,
The material looks like a big.
Yes.
I have it.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And that's a,
It's in.
So
one of the products that are out there.
It's manufactured. And
Oh, I know it is.
Yeah. there are tendons in it, so you can also stabilize.
Secure them to the top.
Man, these
Slope, that's what he's wanting.
the one, 1.5 to 1.
So that's slope.
is staked.
Right.
You get the 1 you want.
Well, for the 30-degree slope.
Okay.
But what they put in that is
Right.
up to them.
In the septic system I have over here as well. There was one item that I haven't verified.
Yeah, that rim elevation was out front, right? Because there was an existing wetland area that you're trying to tap into, and there was some question about.
Yes, that's something. With the wetland is pretty much around 2 sides of the project. This garage, you can see it clearly. So over here on this side, down that building. On the sets. These areas we're talking about, there's a slope along here. Right here.
So that would be, yeah.
That was like really steep slope.
I think that's the existing grade.
That's,
Yeah.
there's trees and plantings on that. And that butts up into the bus, right?
The bus depots, right?
See the contour lines over here.
Yeah.
But so that's an existing,
That side is existing, yes.
that's more than 3 to 1, right?
I would say that's probably
Well, I want
that.
walked up it before.
Well, you can walk up
About
one.
2.5, one maybe.
And how does it get cut or it doesn't, it goes wild?
It's mostly treed and bushes.
It's scrub grass. You know, when we went there, it was like all of, it was probably about 10 inches of grass on that.
Because you don't own too much property there.
No.
Bottom of that slope.
Well, no, it
Bottom
was part of
that's-
the bus, you know. Buses.
So the first two, and then the only issue was that existing, the drain at the front. I just wrote
Yes,
some
there were
question.
3 pipes that had to be replaced. They were pitched in the wrong direction. Those are shown as being replaced.
With the right inverts and the right A. Everything?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they have those being done completely 10-inch. I'll show you the specification of the product. Quick made out.
Attention. This catch basin.
The retention pond.
Yeah, yeah.
Down, yeah.
Underground.
So from the drainage coming down.
Is that
It should be, no, hold pipe. Well, like those are closed pipe, they're not sealed pipes, right? Water can work in, water could leak out. They're perforated. Well, the question was, is it gonna impact the septic going on?
The 18-inch HDPE pipe. For the drainage. pond.
18-inch aren't perforated.
Which number page is it on? What does it say in the form?
C11.
C11.
So my question is, if there were 100-year storm event, and we would say a whole lot of water going really fast through that pipe, would it impact the leach field and septic system that goes?
It wouldn't impact the leach field, it would run into the wetlands.
Well, you got a detention, going into the detention.
I'm worried about the pipe that's going next to the septic.
It's going around the corner, making a 90-degree bend.
Yeah, is that run the risk of washing out the septic?
I understand what you're saying. The area that's perforated is around the building for the roof drainage section.
Okay.
And once it gets to the larger pipes, they go to the manholes.
Once it goes in the manholes, then this is the big line that's going from the manhole to the dead end line. And you gotta
That's
reassure
not-
him that that's not going to.
Okay, so that's not pervious, and therefore it's not going to, unless the pipe gets crushed, then it's not going to impact it.
Yes.
HDPE pipe.
Yep.
So there's one line coming with that,
Okay,
okay? But you're really station coming down. So it is, you got 2 lines coming down. One perforated.
I'm just trying to find this pipe you were talking about that was replacing. I know it.
You got the inverts in here.
Yeah, it was a larger plan.
This one?
Last night.
Is it this on the bottom? Is it here?
It's here.
Right.
This part is showing right here.
On the one that's cut off. Right here. This it?
Oh, yeah, that is it. Probably, I can't really read that, but it's right here. Right. Wait a minute.
Right, and then that goes.
So that is not to a junction, it doesn't seem to exist.
Right, because it's weird that it's with white on it.
Yeah.
I saw a plan though with this shown.
Right, they probably cut this, and who knows, they might have cut and pasted it over.
Yeah.
I'll make a motion that with those 3 corrections, if you can provide us with that detail.
Okay.
To approve the proposal.
I wasn't at the first meeting. What specifically were the three things that we asked them to provide?
The steeper slope, how is it going to be handled? And we're saying one, the septic system had to be approved. What else?
And that is now the case.
That's what we're reporting, yes. And that, that they have the detail right as to replacing the existing in.
There were 3 pipes that went from one retention pond to another. They were pitched the wrong direction for some reason. They were actually probably trying to use them as siphon, on that system at one time. But we wanted to pitch them so that they actually worked at the right elevation.
And that's been done?
That-
Evidently, we haven't seen the actual papers, only half there, but we're going to make it and they're going to provide us with.
Okay, it's on the,
I have a whole separate.
And a separate, that's a good thing.
this one shows.
Oh, good.
Yeah, I remember that.
Which number is that? Which page number, Steve?
C8. And I started on that.
What is, can you refresh my memory, what is this? Yeah. It's a 8-inch diameter PVC pipe that picks up the, what's this?
I believe it's a perforated pipe that holds the storage water, like a Coltex system, until it, and it overflows into the detention pond.
This would show.
It's just settled in the ground.
You see, you got an arrow pointing out. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's 8-inch.
okay.
It goes up
I haven't
here,
been down.
But that's where.
no arrow indicating
Yes.
the floor.
Into the form.
Into, right, into,
Yeah, right there in this one.
there. So what I'm looking for elevation, but can't read it.
Fire station.
So you got an elevation here from the discharge. You plan, so this, you got a detail for that in your thing?
A detail from the adjourn was how we do it.
Over here.
That was a mess.
Right, that, what's this thing?
The storage
You
or
rated, you rated, PVC.
Is this in here, 210 feet long?
Yeah, that's approximately. Your roof drain goes into it.
Subsurface detention system.
Oh, okay.
So, and you can't. That was, look at previous.
Yeah, that was the storage for the
Yeah.
water.
Right.
Thanks for your patience, because our engineer had a,
We have the same problem when we start.
okay.
None of us here are secretary.
So it looks like we are going to have a motion to approve the NOI. And second that. Okay, discussion? David, I muted you. Do you want to say anything?
No, I'm good, thank you.
Tim, how about you? Tim, you're muted. Okay, silence means assent. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Is
Aye.
that an aye or an opposed? Okay,
That was an aye, sorry.
that passes unanimously. What's the next step be on this project?
For the conservation commission, we have to write them and all the conditions.
Okay. So is that something we put on the future agenda?
No, that's what we put on the first day's task for the clerk.
Hey, guys, just, I guess if we let them know when they do have the siltation barrier in place or whatever, they're gonna start construction, they do this email or call the town hall, let us know so we can do an inspection.
Yes,
Yeah, okay. We're probably not gonna be going until springtime, so,
yeah. That'll be part of the condition.
just because.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Our new clerk. You don't need it for public.
And we have to file that condition.
Recorded, when the order of conditions is recorded.
Right, you can call it with the registry of deeds.
Yes.
So they actually do need it.
What do you think?
Yeah, 21's rush. The hearing is supposed to be.
So that's something you need our input for conditions, or you guys?
No.
No, we should be.
I think you have this.
I'll hold you to that.
Okay, well, this clerk can't do it, I'll be doing it with
If
it.
they draft it up and we look at it, if you guys
I'm
don't
looking at
draft it up,
Or-
you don't have any clerical help here, no.
Can we use Franklin?
It's reasonable. That would be.
Go to
I
someone
can send us
process.
a draft one up and send it back to us.
All right, so the expectation is you will draft one up, send it to us, and then we will review it in the future meeting. And when it's on the agenda, we will have our clerk notifying you of it.
Okay.
Come for it.
The recent budget, yes, were issued 4 or 5. Yeah.
All right.
Thanks for your time. Sorry.
Not a problem.
It's our first meeting.
Like I said,
Okay.
This one, though.
yeah.
Is there, can somebody email me a copy of the full set and I'll upload?
You have a copy, email?
Oh, just one.
Yeah.
I'll send it to you.
All right, so anything else before we close the hearing on 5-1? That one's closed. We'll go back to a discussion we were having previously about Millville Street and Goddard. I've heard that Goddard Engineering has completed a preliminary report, and they're going to be sending it to us. Any other discussion about Millville Street?
Well, it sounds like we should schedule it at our next agenda to have this, to review this report. Hopefully we'll have it.
Yeah.
Hopefully we're gonna have it by 2 weeks. Right? Well, no, we're not talking about,
But should we be following up with an email to Goddard?
Yes.
Yeah, I guess just maybe push them a little bit, since we do have some residents that are very concerned.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
Well, and if we're getting this report, can we review it on our own and then ask Goddard or somebody from his office to be here next meeting to discuss? Because I'm sure neighbors are gonna have questions.
Yes, well, the Goddard also committed to making the report available to the butters as well. So follow up.
Thanks for your time,
I
gentlemen.
will,
And we,
I will try to reach out to their attorney. So that somebody gets a message. If you know what I mean, somebody else is gonna reach out to Goddard, I'll reach out to their attorney. Say, hey,
I will try and reach out to Goddard, Mike, also. Thank you.
Okay.
I can QAPC the report.
Okay. All right, any other, that concludes the discussion about Millville Street. Any other continued public hearings that people are here to discuss? Yes.
I have the notice of intent and the 2 updated copies of the plan 58 Milford Street.
Okay.
If you'd like my,
Come on over.
So now, did we approve this, but it was subject to getting the final planning?
I was subject to the notice of intent, and I built it up and put it in the sump for the water.
Oh, the well, yes.
Yeah. So that's gonna be
You
my,
might just keep those steps. And
Yeah, you need an order of conditions, right?
You have,
We did. That's this, order of conditions.
you have a lot of conditions here that we should.
You want to review it and then, we can sign it, or?
So could you come over here and tell me where you've been, where have you been removing trees?
So the house and the septic is going.
Yeah.
So I followed this line right here, so the trees that were right here. I could have taken all these trees, I'm leaving them there because I want as much privacy as possible. So the road is gonna be the road that comes to the garage. And that's, I'm taking the bare minimum amount of trees that I can down, I want the privacy.
Where's the chipper park?
The chipper is, like.
Okay, and so you're, any mechanized, any machinery, you're just staying along the driveway now at this point? Okay. When you get the siltation barriers, it will prevent someone inadvertently driving off into the red line.
That's my sole intent is to make sure that I'm putting silt fence where it's not even being asphalt. I want any work that I'm doing is going to be silt fence because it's just easier to do that.
You have an online copy of the order of conditions, the document you have here?
I have a second copy for myself.
You have an online, you have an
The electronic version?
electronic.
I can ask.
Yeah, if you can get one mailed to the Concom account, and then Susan or our new clerk can stick it in our past SharePoint repository.
Yeah, that's easy enough to do. I just looked at it.
Okay, then I'll contact land planning tomorrow and ask them if they will airdrop or send a copy of a PDF over to us.
Yeah.
Email?
Yeah, our email's on the website.
Yeah, those all-
MendenMA.gov. Damon, Tim, we have a hard copy of an order of conditions that you won't be able to see because you're not here and we don't have an electronic copy. Do you think we should hold off taking action on it until the two of you have had a chance to review it?
Well,
I'm fine with it.
looking at it now, I just looked at it and I think it's
I went on the
No, I'm
site.
fine. As long as Mike and Peter and Susan are okay with it, I'm okay with it. I mean, it's driveway and a house, we're not putting anything crazy.
Yeah, and I went on the sidewalk.
Yeah.
That's pretty
Yeah, we were
clear.
all there. I mean, as long as where the wetlands are, he's got his silt fence done right. And you know, then hopefully him and the neighbor can play nice and we'll be in good shape.
We're
You
waiting,
know that's never gonna happen.
we're waiting for the silt fence to get put in, I believe. That's not completed.
No, I have to wait until they get all the trees and everything down and the brush cleaned up.
Okay.
So I got as much as, I'm doing as much as I can, as quickly as I can, without having to redo it.
Yep.
Peter.
This is for you, right?
Yeah.
Because where would the language, or was it on the plan about trying to minimally disturb the wall? That was.
Oh, you know what?
That was be written on the plan, and if it, as long as it's on the plan, I don't think it needs to be. They replace stone head wall to be reconstructed. That wasn't quite, what was the language?
Peter, if this makes any difference, There's an 18 at the end through that head wall.
Yeah.
I'm only using a 15-inch pipe. Is there any reason why I can't take the 15-inch pipe and put it through the clay
No, that's
pipe
what,
and
that's
not
what I
have to
thought,
touch
that's
that
what,
head
you
wall?
wouldn't have to touch that in that last bit
That's-
of clay that comes through the concrete. You
Perfect,
could
that's what I
do
want
that.
to do, and I won't have to touch that wall at all.
It's good, it's good for the first foot and a half, that's all he needs, he
Right.
just needs the rim, right? He can stick it all the way out through it.
Then that's,
No, he's fixing the, so if that's what you're doing.
yeah,
Say that
that's what I
you
wanted to ask you
so
while I
don't
was
have-
here, if that was
You don't even have to
acceptable.
biff that concrete wall,
Don't have to touch it all at
Yeah.
that point.
in my opinion. You're doing work on his property, you want to minimize.
Well, he's already dug the dirt all around.
Yeah, I understand, I understand. I'm okay with this.
Okay, I'm okay with it, so I'll make a motion to accept them.
Hold on. If you're now, we just gave you authorization to change the language that's in this part of the document. Will you be working with the engineer to update that? I don't want to be in a situation where this plan says you're going to do something, we have verbally told you not to, and then the
If it's,
butter complains.
Make a note on that and date it. Fine, make a note on it.
Allow me to write it.
Yeah, if you can write exactly what's going to go on, you know, right after.
Do the same on this one.
Okay.
15-inch pipe to be slid through thimble of 18-inch pipe to access drainage ditch from wall.
Is that neighbor going? Yeah. I know. That's, you gotta tell them that your insurance.
I can tell them, that's the next move. That's the next move. They asked me questions, I'm like, I don't even know what they're talking about. They want to be good neighbors.
I think you're past the good neighbor stage.
They say it every week, oh, we want to be good neighbors.
I think you're past the good neighbor stage. Aren't deterrent.
Yes, and
Respectful neighbors is what you should strive for.
I am trying my hardest to do everything that is good for them. And they don't see it. They just don't see it.
Wait until they park in the driveway.
Oh, you can, yeah, I put marks in there, and it's like an inch off the mark.
Did
But you get the
write it
spikes
on there?
around 2,000.
Okay,
All right.
you sign it?
I swear to
Sign
God,
it,
they don't.
initial and dated.
I know they are.
When he opens his garage door, it's not my
I'll
problem.
put my signature on there too.
Yep.
Yeah, he's got 2.5 feet to his garage.
Well, that's where you go talk to your real estate agent and see whether he is in violation of the language in the deed.
All the real estate agents.
Not the real estate lawyer. Today's the 22nd.
I'm indemnified. You can't come after me.
All right, so,
Like I said, I'm trying to be as good as I can.
Keep it up. David.
So-
You're almost there.
Damon, are you there?
Yes, I am.
This may come up if the neighbor calls you up. We have modified the language on the plan to allow the pipe to be done slightly differently. Can you explain to Damon what you're now doing?
Yeah, I
So-
heard him, Carl.
Okay,
About
great.
the clay pipe, yep, yeah, no problem.
All right, so we'll be able to inform the neighbor several times until he hears you.
All
right.
right, sounds good, thank you.
Now I'll make the motion.
Is there a second? Any discussion?
Oh, sorry.
No,
All in favor?
aye.
Name and I.
Any opposed? Passes unanimously.
Fantastic. Thank you.
All right.
Good luck.
Any further public hearing continues? If not, we close the public hearing meeting of this section of the meeting, and we now move on to remaining business. We are previously discussed getting the ORAD signed for 3537 Hastings, so that I've signed it. We still need Tim, and Tim will be coming in Monday to sign it, and then Damon or I will get it to John Menard. I will be reaching out as well for getting the, their public hearing set up at the next appropriate meeting. One of the things that we discussed was creating agendas and meeting notices from now until the end of the year, because the town clerk is not going to be available. And the way that this would be structured is we would have the agendas say 7:15 public hearings, and it would not spell them out. This way we would be able to get the room and have the meeting agendas posted in time while the clerk is on vacation. Any discussion?
Works for me, so it's not a set time at which one comes first, so the audience just has to
Starting
come.
last year, we said public hearings are at 7:15, we do them whatever we consider.
Works for
We
me.
just did 3 public hearings between 7:15 and 7:57.
So our meetings will start at 7.
Yes.
Public hearings at 7.
It works fine. If we start getting 3 big things, but yes, no, it works
All
for
right.
They
me.
can adjust it accordingly.
I will work with the town clerk to make sure that, and Susan, because she's been doing it, but to make sure that we don't lose our meeting room. And
I think we're booked out to the rest of the rest of the year.
Right, but we want to make, while the clerk's
Just
on
double check
vacation,
though.
while the clerk's on vacation,
Yeah,
we want to make sure
No one
that we
steals
get
it.
our meetings posted with the public hearings
Yeah.
in. Even though we don't know exactly what public hearings we want to have, there will always be a 7:15 slot.
Yeah.
Where we say, any public hearings? Now is your time. All right. Let's see, other discussion, on membership of the committee. Emilio, I believe, has officially resigned.
Yep.
Have we heard anything from the Board of Selectmen about, what they're doing with, Tim's position? Have they-
I mean, as far as I know, Tim had gotten his, he had gotten his,
Ethics check.
report, the ethics
Yeah.
paperwork in, so I don't know what they're doing. I mean, if that's what they were gonna, if they were gonna kick him off for that, I guess they don't really have any leg to stand on anymore. I'm not sure what's going on, but I do see that there is somebody else there that's, if you recognize that, John D'Amelio in the room there, he's interested, I think, in being on the board also.
Okay, so I'll get that, but first I wanted to check on the current membership. All right, so.
So just a question, didn't the selectmen meet last Wednesday? I thought that
No,
they canceled the meeting.
What is it, Ron? So did the selectmen take action last night on the
No.
HR?
No, I
Had a
think
meeting.
that done. They were waiting for us to give them a recommendation of the members that we talked to, that we interviewed last time at the last meeting. And then now, I mean, I think there was 3 people that were interested, but I see that Bob Sweet and John D'Amelio are the only 2 that are there or have been there talking and interested in person.
Was Robin invited to come? Robin Fletcher was the 3rd.
Yeah, I sent him an email.
Yeah,
I did
everybody was invited, I think.
try and contact him because I was away and I was busy. The other action that the selectmen are considering taking is, and with respect to Damon's position on the town meeting, town bylaws change, which was approved by the Attorney General, and whether that impacts Damon now as of the end of August when the Attorney General ruled, or whether it is at the expiration of Damon's term. My proposal is that we inform the selectmen that we wish to hear town council to say that, and that the Board of Selectmen and the Conservation Commission should be guided by what the town council says about how to interpret that particular Attorney General.
Good point.
yeah.
All right, so I will
Well,
take,
the thing, Carl, I think what it is the town council said that, you know, they feel that I should have, unless the Board of Selectmen, or sorry, Select Board, if they vote me off, then I am off.
Yes.
If they don't vote me off, then the town council said I would run my term. till my
Okay.
term. But, so if the board really wants me off that bad, then they would have to vote me off at the
All
next
right.
meeting.
So what I have heard that you're reporting council saying is council is not advising Damon that Damon's term has ended as of the end of August. All right, so I will include that. My nice official letter I'll be sending the Board of Selectmen after tonight's meeting. All right.
Thank you. I mean, the thing is, if they really feel that, me spending the rest of my term might affect the town, and my conservation actions, then they're probably gonna want to get me off, as crooked as I am.
Well, we'll wait and see how the Board of Selectmen conduct their discussion. So we can move on from that and conduct another interview. We have John D'Amelio.
D'Amelio, yes.
Okay, could you introduce yourself, give some background, how long you've been in the town, and what do you
I
want to
am
be?
John D'Amelio.
What do you want to be with the rest of us for? You can
So
listen
I've been
to
in
us.
the town probably for 20 plus years. I grew up in Franklin, did a stint on the planning board, 4-year term, I think it was. I'm an alternate right now on the ZBA, which I don't know if that's ever going to come to, a board member or not. I've been in construction for over 20 years, probably more than 25 years, construction supervisor license. I just feel as, I love the town. I grew up in Franklin. Franklin got too busy for me before I was 30 years old, I moved over here. And I just want to give back, whatever I can, keep the town going in the right direction. I guess what I presume is the right direction.
Planning board, is that an elected position?
Yes, and I was also on the water commission. And that's an elected position too.
Yeah, all the controversy.
Yeah.
All right. So you're interested because of your background in construction to you think you'd be able to provide expertise along these lines?
I would like to think so.
Well, I don't. This is why I'm saying, push them the blueprints.
Where do you live in town?
Lowry Street,
Lowry Street.
on the Park Avenue.
In terms of conflict of interest, do you typically work with people who you would have to recuse any discussion of things they brought before the committee?
Not typically. I think I've probably recused myself once, maybe on a planning board. I'm a realtor in town also.
Okay.
And I'm a construction supervisor for myself. So I have 2 businesses. But, I don't, if anything came up that I was either working with prior to a meeting, I would recuse myself. I mean, anything that happens afterwards would have to, go in front of the board of ethics. But I take ethics every year as a realtor.
Yep.
So
Yep.
I'm up to date on all those.
Is that the same state conflict of interest ethics training that you take?
Pretty much. It's
Okay.
all,
Actually, more advanced.
yeah, it's actually more rigid than what you do.
All right. Any other questions from the board? Damon, Tim?
No, I'm good, thank you. He said everything I needed to hear.
Okay. What? Okay. Peter?
Seems.
I am assuming you have, make the occasional site visits. We usually meet on Thursday evenings, but site visits.
Yeah, sometimes we get called out.
Yeah, that's not a problem. And it's right in town usually, so. Unless it's on a job site.
We also get asked to go look at a site to make sure that it's not subject to our jurisdiction sometimes. And Damon has traditionally done that, so if he's off the board, someone else to help fill that out.
Yeah, I don't want to go.
Yeah, you're,
I'm,
yeah. I didn't know you were still working.
too easy to give up. Having too much fun. I could retire anytime.
Oh, no, you can.
So are we looking for 2 positions or 3 or what?
Yet, no.
We don't yet.
So let me get to that one before, okay. If there are no other questions for John, we also have Bob here. People want to follow up with questions from Bob from when we talked with him 2 weeks ago.
No, as long as he can keep that patience, he's working on it, I can tell you.
Okay,
Well, just because we have both of them here, I think either candidate would benefit the board.
okay. Is that the consensus from everybody else on the board? Okay, so when I write here to the concert, to the select board, I will say that we've interviewed the 2 of you. We did not interview Robin because he didn't attend. And the other question that has come up that I'm going to address in my email is alternates. There was some discussion about having alternates appointed to the Conservation Commission. My response here is not, the Wetlands Protection Act does not allow select boards to designate, it doesn't specifically say that they're allowed to designate alternates. They're only allowed to designate a board of 3 to 7 people. So again, this is the sort of thing where if they want to appoint alternates, I would ask them to explain either on their own or through town council what the alternates would be allowed to do and not allowed to do. For example, is an alternate allowed to, if an alternate is not a voting member at the first part of the hearing, are they then able to participate later on? Are they able to sign things if they weren't around? So I want to get some significant guidance because alternates for Concom don't seem to have the same ability to act on the basis of state law. So I will put something along those lines in the email. Anything else that people want to say about how I write a letter up?
No, I think everything is good. I mean, I think we're gonna end up having a situation at the next selectman meeting of whether we're gonna need 1 or 2 within the next year. I think if they go my term, I think my term runs out in a year. So a year or 2, I'm not sure. So, I mean, we're either gonna need 1 or we're gonna need 2, shortly. So.
Well, we need 1 replacement for Emilio.
Correct, that's what I'm saying. So you might need, after this next selectmen's meeting, if they decide to vote me off, then you're gonna need 2 right away, so.
That is something that the select board will have to take up, and so the expectation is that they would have to specifically take an action with the majority of the select board determining that they would want to remove you.
I thought we were getting liaison.
We do, he was unable to attend today. He sent me an email saying that he was, Mike Goddard said he was not able to attend today, but next time for sure.
Is he the same?
I'm the backup.
You're also our tech support.
That was also just a Route 16.
So how'd the Route 16 thing go?
Very well.
Can I ask well, if we're done with the discussion then. Sorry. But, has anyone inspected the rural protection plan up at Muddy Brooks? You've been notified?
There's a rural protection.
Yes. Muddy Brooks Estates.
That's the town one, right, or something?
No, it's the cul-de-sac that they're putting in.
Yeah.
They gotta put up the fence and they gotta go in and make sure there's no, I don't know when that process happens, before construction for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
Gotta keep the turtles out.
We'll have
They
to
gotta-
email them and make sure that they notify us that it's ready.
I think they're on the agenda with a revised plan coming into planning board next Monday. So
Oh, really?
I may have some information for you on that.
Okay. Thinking about it the other day.
Sooner than later. I know
Yeah.
that they are on the agenda though.
I was so convenient.
Well, either that or we have Mike Goddard, our select board person, to be able to sprinkle information, cross-pollinate information that way.
Well, if he goes to planning and conservation.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Imagine that, Mike. It's not a benefit to have one person on two boards. You know that, Mike.
Well, a liaison just attends meetings. They don't get to vote. They don't serve on the board. They just get to talk. All right, I think that concludes the discussion about,
Do you have any questions for us?
oh, yeah. Okay, thanks to the two of you for coming before us and for expressing your interest.
So as a initiation, pre-initiation, let me rewatch a bunch of meetings and save up some minutes.
Whoever does it faster wins. I don't know how to spell, so.
All right. That is, those are the items that I had listed, not
Emily was supposed
within
to do
48 hours.
We've gone through all the mail?
Yes. Yes, there's the bill for, one of the bills has already been paid. There's a bill from Deshang, and the town person who wrote the sticky says they want an invoice from Deshang. So we'll follow that when we're doing our training.
Yeah, the one that was paid from Deshang, I gave it to Connor from Blue Water because he paid it directly to Deshang. That's the one you're talking about.
Okay.
Yeah, everything, because it was just not having anybody in the office just didn't work out. So, but I did get some of the advertisement stuff that we had taken care of with Jody last week. And if there's any bills there, Carl, you can leave them in the mailbox and I will go see her Monday and get them taken care of if needed.
No, the only bill, the only new bill was the one that for 530 something for the legal notices that just got paid. So we didn't get any.
Okay. Sounds good.
One check that was real old, was that successfully cashed?
No, I talked to Laura and she said, no, it's not even, it was 2021. I mean, it was not like we were a couple days over, you know?
So if we asked another one?
I don't know if there was other ones done. I don't even, at that point, that was when Emily was here. So I don't even know what was going on during that time because we weren't paying attention to it because we had an admin.
Right, but if that check was made out to us and we did the work, arguably we're still owed that money, but we got to tell the people, hey, sorry, our bad. We forgot to cash it. Could you write another check?
Well, let's ask them if they had submitted another check, and if they did.
I guess we have to find out.
Please show us, and if you haven't, please write it.
Next time Fred's at a meeting, we could probably ask him because it was Sylvan Springs. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's Fred Lappin, right?
Yes, yeah. And I have the old checks and everything. They're on the desk in the Concom office. So if we do need them, they are separate from the big pile of stuff that's on the desk.
Maybe we should be kind of, Fred, Mr. Chairman, while we have a member of the select board here, why don't we just reiterate our concerns on what's the deal that was offered to the clerk? And let him know, because since he's the alternate, he's the alternate liaison.
Is it all right if you?
Yes, no, you're good. If you need to go,
Please, or you can just listen to how we're going to get the admin.
I'll email you guys those quick.
Thank you.
The concern that the Concom has is that someone working a single 10-hour block for 1 day a week is not going to serve the public, and it's not going to serve the timely ability of the Concom to respond timely to applicants. So I will be writing up an email and sending it to Kim. It's Kim, her boss. Right, so I'll be sending it to Kim, and if I get the HR people, I'll send it to them as well. I'm going to propose initially that we have them working 4 to 6 hours the Thursdays that we have a meeting, plus 2 hours in the evening. 2 hours the Friday after our meeting, and that way they can clean up, do all the paperwork, like writing up the minutes and filling out anything that needs to go out. And I want to discuss with the person what their hours and time spent in the office would be the weeks that we do not have Thursday meetings. I don't, it really, it would be nice if they could be in the office 2 days that week, and we'd have to check in with what their commitment is and what their works and commuting schedule is. But if not, we might want them in the office on that other week for, again, a 4 hour block, and then having them working from home for the other 4 hours, doing things that don't require them to be picking things up. We would also want to reach out to see if there is another person who works for the town who would be able to coordinate checking the mailbox if they're only going to be in 1 day a week. So that if they're working 1 day and working from home those other days, they would be able to pick up materials from the mailbox and then communicate with the person working at home so that they can get things done.
Because there's time constraints on when you file for a notice of intent.
Those are, how many days though? It's not hours, right, or days, it's not 20 days or
21 or 45.
So I don't know that there's any set schedule yet. My understanding, or my assumption, I guess, now that I'm thinking about it, was that you guys would work out the best schedule for the office and for your meeting.
And that's what I just proposed and I'll write up.
Yeah,
We'll work.
that was my understanding.
Yeah, we'll work with Kim.
Right, which is fine. Oh, the select board, the hiring authority hired them. So what did they present as a job?
Conservation clerk / agent for 10 hours a week. I mean, I don't know I don't know what was it.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Was it specified? Are we under the false impression that we're gonna have someone that has the ability to work 2 hours a day, 4 hours a day, 10 hours for 1 day, and we don't see them all week? Because number one, as you can understand, that's not gonna work because of the time constraints associated with filing.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. I don't think that, I wouldn't assume again that it was just 1 10-hour day. That doesn't make sense in any arena, right?
We didn't interview them. We did not have any contact with them, so we were not able to raise this question. I will write when I get the email from HR, I'll respond with what I just verbally said to them and to Kim, copy the board of selectmen, because you're the hiring people, saying, here is what our proposal is, and we need to have a conversation with the applicant, with the new person. What's their name, do you know?
Yeah. You had to ask me.
Maya,
Yeah, Maya Chuck.
listen, what was talked to with HR was, I think really we just need to get her in the door and talk to her. She lives far away. So if the board feels that, okay, it's gotta be 5 hours twice a week. Okay, that's what it's gotta be. That's the way that's what you guys, or the board wants it. Then that's what we gotta tell her. But we really haven't even had that conversation yet because she just got hired and nobody's even really, I mean, other than the hiring authority, nobody from conservation has has said anything to us. That's why I was hoping that she would reach out to me, and whoever's available, we can meet with us at the town hall. We can go over a few things and see what benefits everybody, so that she doesn't come in and go, oh my God, I don't know that I like this, and once she starts, she's gone.
Spell Maya.
Should be M-Y.
M-A-Y-A maybe,
M-A-Y-A, Chuck,
M-
C-U-C-H-U-C-K.
Maya Chuk.
Chuck.
Chuck, Maya Chuck, okay.
Carl, I liked your explanation, but I guess I wouldn't push for Friday. I would see Monday would be better. Friday.
Town hall's
close,
closed,
Yeah.
it's-
okay, yeah.
And one day is not,
Yep,
The town hall's not open on Friday, and if we're gonna have her in the office, we should have her in there when during operating hours of the town hall,
yes.
right?
well, I'm all in favor of working from home because I do it a lot, so I want to work out.
You can do some at home, but I think that sometimes you need to have somebody in the office.
Yes.
You know, the days we're gonna have meetings, or maybe, I don't know, I guess we just really need to sit down and go over it and see how much she can do from home. I mean, nowadays, it seems like everybody's working from home, if they can.
I can't work from home.
No, neither can I. I can, but I'll be broke.
The goal is that on the days that we have meetings, they would be here. It is also helpful if we are put on the website that we have office hours 1 day a week for a half a day.
Right, I mean, that's how we had it for, I think, well, it used to be 2 days a week when we had somebody that lived, closer here was available to be here, but
Right, and I'm willing to say 1 day a week for someone who we're only paying for 10
Correct.
hours.
perfect.
All right, so I will work on the personnel issue with Kim and Maya.
Awesome. If I hear from anybody, if I hear from her, Carl, I will reach out to you right away, and or whoever, I'll let everybody know, and if anybody can be there to meet her, and put,
Yep.
go over everything, that'll be great.
Okay, the other thing, after we establish what our new membership is going to be, I want to make sure that we have in addition to people's work email, for people who don't, in addition to their town email, for people who don't regularly read their town email, I want to get a list of their non-town emails, as well as setting up a list of phone numbers so that we can set up a text message group for, not for public discussion of things, because that's against the open meeting law, but for discussing things like, hey, are we going to have, and scheduling, site visits.
Yeah.
So, for the phone number, what I did for the email thing, I just went into the town email and I had, it forwards to my Gmail account.
Yes.
So it's just really easy.
Okay, then that would be a better way to do things, yeah.
When you reply, you go back into your town email.
No, it replies to the Gmail as well. Personally,
Say again?
it replies to Gmail.
Right, so, but that's not a legal way of communicating with the town's email. The legal way is that you have to send in, you think about that, if you're replying from your Gmail.
Oh, but it does go back through the system and replies.
You're doing a reply to all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For me, well,
No, you can't go back.
The appropriate way to do things is to log into the account and do a reply all from there.
Yeah.
Do a reply all from your personal Gmail.
I can understand getting the email, and so you get a notification, hey, I've got an email to look at. If you reply through the Gmail, it doesn't get logged into the town server. So essentially, they're records are not. Yeah.
well, I don't know that. I don't know.
Are we done?
Well, that's something I never do.
Any other business?
Works, that's we got.
Yeah.
Going once, twice, sold. Okay, I will now entertain a motion.
So move.
Second.
Damon, I.
No discussion on motions to adjourn or non-discussion. All right.
Good night, guys.
Bye, guys. Bye, Susan.
And the meeting concludes at 8:26 p.m. Thank you for attending.
Just rewire it.
Did they decide whether or not they're gonna put a third lane in?